आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनकही कहानियाँ। आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनसुनी कहानियाँ। एक नई दुनिया की आवाज़ आपकी आवाज़, विज्ञान की आवाज़ की आवाज़।
Gender Advancement for Transforming Institutions, or GATI, is an innovative pilot project launched by the Department of Science and Technology, that's DST. It ushers in a novel intervention program for promoting gender equity in science and technology. GATI aspires to create an enabling environment for equal participation of women in science, technology, engineering, medicine, and mathematics, that is STEM. These disciplines at all levels address deep-rooted problems in gender equality. Project Gati was one of the 3 initiatives of DST announced on 28 February 2020, the National Science Day, by the Honorable President of India at a celebratory program dedicated to women in science. This program was held in Vigyan Bhavan, New Delhi. You are listening to Vigyan Ki Awaaz, catalyzed and supported by National Council for Science and Technology Communication, produced by Media for Community Foundation, content support by Kadalosai FM 90.4 Community Radio, and hosted by V. Krishnan. In this episode of our Vigyan Ki Awaaz podcast, we are going to meet a nodal officer of Gati, coordinating the efforts towards bringing gender equity in STEM. Not only a nodal officer, but as a researcher, she also works in many other aspects of science and technology. Dr. R.S. Jayasree, Scientist G and Scientist in Charge, Division of Biophotonics and Imaging at Sri Chitrai Tirunal Institute for Medical Sciences and Technology.
I am Dr. Jayasree, working in the Department of Biomaterial Science and Technology in this institute, Sri Chitrai Tirunal Institute for Medical Sciences and Technology, and my division is called Biophotonics and Imaging, and I am heading the division. I have done my basic education in physics, and later on I transformed myself to a physics chemistry biology person. And now I work on biomaterials mostly, and basically bio-nanomaterials, where I have more than some 150 publications. I have 10 patents, and I am listed as one of the women in this field by the Royal Society of Chemistry this year, and I have been awarded the Best Scientist Award this year. So that is about me. So I am not going deep into the introduction about myself.
Her areas of research.
And basically I work currently on 3 different aspects. One is the most important thing is in vitro diagnostics. So in vitro diagnostics, for the best example is that you can get in the medical store the COVID testing kit, and for pregnancy kits you get a lateral flow assay device where you drop your sample and you get a line whether it is positive or negative. So such applications we have developed, one for COVID itself. So for that, what advantage that we got is we get a very visible bright light compared to the one available in the market, so that there is no confusion whether it is positive or negative. And also because of the very brightness of the signal and the line that is developed, we can have the quantitative analysis. So far it was not possible. So you will get just whether it is positive or negative. But from this invention that we have patented, we have also applied for a US patent. Based on that, we can have a quantitative analysis. For that, we have developed a mobile-based app. So the patient himself or herself can use that mobile app, and he can know what sort of quantitatively how much the infection is there. It is not just positive or negative. That is one thing. And another thing that we are working on is the development of Alzheimer's disease marker from the blood. So Alzheimer's disease, you may be knowing that it is a disease affecting the brain. People at the old age, they get this dementia and memory loss. So that is the thing that common man will understand, memory loss. So that is basically due to the formation of some materials in the neurons. So it is called amyloid beta plaques. So there is a bundle of these proteins happening in the brain, which prevents the brain function in the normal way. So the biomarkers for this disease will not be available very markedly in the blood. It will be available in the cerebrospinal fluid, CSF. These biomarkers are available in the blood at very, very low quantity. But finding it from that blood is very difficult. But taking CSF from a patient is also very difficult, that you may be knowing. You have to do a lumbar puncture. The patient will have very high pain on that, and patient will not be willing. Collecting blood is so easy. So we have developed a material and a lateral flow assay device, so that we got these biomarkers detected from the blood. So we need to have 10 to the power of minus 18. So that is called attomolar level sensitivity. So we could get that attomolar level sensitivity for Alzheimer's disease. And we have also developed this in vitro diagnostics for the detection of circulating tumor cells from the blood. So the circulating tumor cells are important when some patient has cancer. Already affected patient, they will be under treatment. So the clinician or the doctor will be looking for this circulating tumor in the blood for knowing whether the tumor has spread to other organs. It is called metastasis. So we can check the availability of these cells from the blood. There are a lot of technological things inside that device. So it has a collecting chamber, it has a filter, and it has a draining chamber. And the filter is so modified that it captures only the circulating tumor cells. So we have modified this filter with the nano tags, which specifically captures this tumor cells. So that is one technology.
How is your research and development useful for the common man?
These are all definitely useful for the common man, because any patient affected with COVID, but any common man, I guess, when they have a fever, they definitely go to the medical store and get a COVID kit. So that is very much useful for every common people. And another advantage is the same kit that we have developed, not only for COVID, we are modifying it for other applications. For example, everybody, you and me will always think that whether I have Alzheimer's disease, morning I will not be remembering the names of many people. Then I was wondering, oh my God, I am not remembering, I cannot recollect anything. So if that thought is very serious, then we can just check whether there is marker in the blood. So that patient himself can do that from using this lateral flow assay device. That is a good thing. And in addition to that, I am also working on some contrast materials, MRI contrast materials. So I don't know whether you know, nowadays contrast materials are all based on gadolinium based. Gadolinium is one of the elements which is highly toxic. So we are using that toxic material for any of the MRI imaging. Okay, so when you go for MRI imaging, they will inject you with a dye. If you take 100 cases, maybe 80 cases, they will give you some contrast agent. That contrast agent is basically made of gadolinium material. What happens is immediately there may not be any issue, but in long run the patient will develop some kidney problems. It is called nephrotic fibrosis. So that happens because of the toxicity of the gadolinium. So to replace that MRI contrast agent, we are working in collaboration with the IIT Kanpur to bring out a new contrast agent based on a biologically compatible molecule. We hope that in 2 years it will be out in the market. Yeah, that is one more thing that we are working on.
present and future direction of your research.
So the in vitro diagnostics, as I told you, it is very useful for the common people, but we can see only very few in vitro diagnostic kits available in the market. For example, urine kit, pregnancy kit is very common, and after COVID we can also see the COVID kit. Other than that, there is not many diagnostic kits available in the market for the patient's use. So that will be a revolution, because nowadays we are moving towards the personalized medicine like thing, and people also concentrate on specific to the patient. So in that way, this type of personalized medicine approach will be an emerging technology in India, and also it has already emerged outside the country. So slowly we are also coming to that path. So that way it will be a good thing. And the MRI contrast, already I told you, it is all over the country, very widely used, researched topic to find out a new molecule for getting the MRI contrast. So far no one has come out, even though there are many. So we have identified a molecule which is not revealable, that name currently. So that molecule, we hope it will come out as a very good MRI contrast agent. So that will be a breakthrough if it can come out. Yeah.
Could you please tell us about India's rank in your particular area of research?
Alzheimer's disease, as of today, there are many research papers that have come out. Many people have different approach how to diagnose, mostly from the cerebrospinal fluid. So those are all at the research level only publications are available. But we are attempting to bring out something that patient can use. So we have already reached there. So that is not done by anyone else in India. And also in abroad, I have not found anybody done such research. Globally, even though the research for MRI contrast agent with the newer molecules, which is highly compatible, non-toxic, so we are working on that. It will be a global breakthrough once it is out in the market. So we are expecting that by 2026. So for the MRI contrast agent, we have not identified any industry. It has to be optimized a little bit more. So it will take a couple of years. So then as we progress, we will associate with an industry. Currently, we are not in connection with any industry. Yeah, but IVDs, we have already done the patenting, and one of them is going for peace. COVID kit, it is going for an international patent, because it is the best available now. As of now, we have checked many of these kits available in the market, so ours was the best.
Gati, Gender Advancement for Transforming Institutions.
It is an initiative by the Government of India, launched in 2019. So they have selected Sri Chitra as one of the centers. So I am the nodal officer for that. So I always try to motivate young girls. That effort is basically for women in STEM. Okay. So girls, they don't come back to the career after the career break. Okay. Especially if it is a science stream. So we find that many of the women, young girls, they get a high rank when they pass out 10th, 12th and all. Up to post-graduation level, we see them. After that, there is a huge drain of women. So we have found that there is a huge gap from that level, and many women, even though they are continuing in the career, they don't come to the leadership. So what is happening to the women of the country? So we are looking for that. We have identified several gaps and how to fill those gaps, and the government has also to look into that thing, that we would like to suggest some efforts to fill the break in career and give some relaxation to the women coming to the career after the break. All those things we would like to suggest.
We now come to the end of this episode. We were listening to Dr. Jayasree, Scientist G and Scientist in Charge, Division of Biophotonics and Imaging at Sri Chitrai Tirunal Institute for Medical Sciences and Technology, Trivandrum. I am sure this podcast will give deep insights for science lovers. Dr. Jayasree now shares her thoughts on this Vigyan Ki Awaaz podcast initiative of STEM, catalyzed and supported by the National Council for Science and Technology Communication. Thank you, Dr. Jayasree. Thank you, Doctor, for this great and much needed initiative. And thank you, listeners. Bye for now.